All right, so I know it's been a while since I made a video. It's been a long while. But I just kind of wanted to do this video because I think it'd be helpful to some of y'all out there. I recently installed a livescope on my bay boat. This is a 22-foot sea hunt. It's the bay, it's not the deep V, so it's got the casting deck and all that on it. But anyways, I was having a hard time finding a livescope setup that would work with this boat because the bow is so high out of the water. I mean, when I'm just sitting in the water, my gunnels are probably 3 foot out of the water, and most of the livescope pole setups that I could find were like 48, 50, 60 inches, somewhere in there. And I needed a lot more than that because a 60-inch would work, but the handle would stop about right here, and I didn't want to be bending over all day messing with the handle. So this is an 84-inch pole, and it's extendable and adjustable. As you can see, it's got these, and you can unscrew them, move them up and down, that kind of stuff. It also came with a bracket for the perspective mode or the traditional mode built in. This is from Summit Fishing, and it has this type of mount on it, which this is similar to like the YouTube hack bike mount, I guess, wall mount for a bike, and it mounts to one of these Canon tracks so you can move it back and forth. I put this track on here so that I could slide it up or to the back, and eventually I may put another track toward the back of the boat so I can use it back there. So let me climb up in the boat and I'll kind of show y'all what I got going on up here. So this is just a rod box here. In here I've got my black box mounted, and I've got one of the amped, I think that's a 30 amp lithium batteries, and I just ran my wires up through the rod box up to the anchor locker, and you can see I put like a flush mount thing right here, and the wiring comes out. This is a Millennium Marine mount, and I've got a 12-inch Garmin on it. I picked this mount because I take this thing out in the ocean and, you know, in some really rough water, and I didn't want a mount that was going to be falling over. You have these adjustments, but then it has ceramic nuts. So basically when you tighten those down, that thing's not going anywhere. And it's also height adjustable. You can move it up or down. So yeah, this setup worked really good for me on the bay boat. My only complaint is the Summit Fishing bike mount is definitely not saltwater rated. You can see those nuts are rusted like crazy. I've only had this thing on here for probably maybe 6 months, and it's been to the coast maybe 3 times. And yeah, that's what, I can't even twist any of those knobs on there anymore. So I'm probably gonna have to figure something else out to use with this pole eventually. I'm just gonna use that thing until it doesn't work anymore, but for now it'll do. One other thing I did on this boat, you know, I use this boat for the family and all that as well, so I didn't want the livescope transducer hooked up to the black box all the time because I wanted to be able to remove it. So I got this thing from Garmin. It's called a through hole like flush mount cord. So basically you've got a transducer cord that runs from there to the black box, and then you just screw this transducer cord into it. So it allows you to remove that livescope if you need to. Anyways, I know it's not the greatest video, but that's just may help y'all in deciding what to do on your bay boat, because there's a ton of mounting options for bass boats and john boats, and there's a ton of videos on YouTube about it, but I couldn't really find a whole lot about a bay boat. So that's what works for me. Maybe y'all find something better, and if you know of something that'll work on these Canon tracks and with that pole that may be a little more saltwater rated, let me know.